Hey there, and welcome back to the Hey Kayla podcast. It feels so good to be back behind the mic with you right now, even if it doesn't sound like it feels all that good. If you're a regular listener, you might have noticed it's been a minute since my last episode, and that's because for the past few weeks, my voice has been doing this really fun little disappearing act, which is not ideal for someone who, literally speaks for a living. I had some massive vocal strain to my vocal cords. So we're still not 100%, but it feels much better. And I think I sound a lot better than I've been doing. So I really miss the show. I couldn't wait to get back to it. So we're just going for it. And I have to say, while I wasn't podcasting, I still obviously always have a whole lot to say. So I decided that I would actually bring back my blog. And that's what I thought I would talk about today. Just a little bit of a life update, where I'm at with things. I'm still working, still hosting at the time this is going live. We're in playoff hockey right now. I've been doing a ton of spring events as folks wind up to head into the summer. So it has been a really busy season and I've been having a lot of fun. My poor voice, I've been trying to put myself on vocal rest when I can. And with words just bubbling up inside of me all the time, that's what kind of led to me bringing back the blog. So I actually, if you've been here for a while, I actually started out with a blog. Then that's when I moved to Instagram Lives after that. I did them twice a week. And then this podcast. And that's kind of been the evolution of how I've been sharing my voice and my work and my content. But this time, this blog is a little different. I'm not doing it in terms of coaching and putting out content. It's not about SEO. It's not about social media. It's not from that aspect. I wanted it to be a lot more like this podcast, which the podcast, when I sit down to do this, it's joy for me. It's just for me to enjoy and hang out with you. I'm doing it for the creativity. I'm doing it for the clarity, for the outlet, and honestly, just because I want to. And I have missed this podcast so much. So a little while ago, I guess a couple weeks ago now, when I was real squeaky and barely making any noises at all, that's when I just started writing. And that's when I put the blog on Substack. So it's called the Fave Self Society, which is the same name as my weekly email newsletter. So you can either sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already. I'll put the link in the show notes. And I'll also link the new Substack blog, the Fave Self Society, in the show notes as well, because it's officially a thing. It is officially a thing. And like I mentioned, it's on Substack, and it's what my idea for it is, what I'm starting it with. But, things evolve and change as time goes on. It's my weekly journal meets coaching session where I'm going to document, and I've been documenting, my own 1-year experiment to become my favorite version of myself. So if you know me, it's my flagship program. It's one of the biggest things I coach and teach people on, is becoming their favorite versions of themselves. I'm not talking about your ideal self or your higher self. That's too much pressure. We want this to be fun, right? I think personal development, self-development, self-help should be fun. You should come at it from an angle, or I don't want to tell you what you should be doing, but I'd like to think it's a lot nicer to come at it from the angle of, I love myself and I want to honor myself and do what makes me feel good and what makes me happy, right? Not coming from the angle of, I hate myself, I need to change, I'm not good enough as I am right now. No, this is not about being super polished or perfect or some sort of optimized version of yourself. I talked about this more in another podcast episode. I'll link that in the show notes as well. But what I'm talking about with the favorite version of ourselves is the version that actually feels good, right? Who laughs from her belly, who's lit up by her life. And if you've been feeling even a little meh about yours lately, I think you're going to feel right at home there. It's already, from the comments I've heard from folks, it's already a really cozy place on the internet. So this is, I guess I'll tell you a little bit how it started. And again, I do have 2 blog posts up there now, because this wasn't some grand cinematic, rock bottom, nothing, horrible happened. I kind of also alluded to this in my last podcast episode, but there were no tears on the floor, no dramatic speeches to the universe. I didn't have a full meltdown. It was just a regular morning and like a really loud no. I had just come back from walking the dog, who was barking at everything that moved: squirrels, leaves, the breeze, his own shadow. I walked into my house, which was mid-reno chaos, tripped over a ladder, realized I was out of tea. Like, every dish in the house was dirty. The couch was buried in a week's worth of clothes. There were 3 laptops cluttering up my coffee tables. And suddenly I just hit that wall, that internal moment where you go, no, just no, not this, not like this. This isn't how I want to feel. And what's wild is nothing was really wrong. My life on paper, it's great. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I have freedom. I love my work. I live in a beautiful country. I have a beautiful dog, a beautiful home, incredible people around me. But still, I hadn't laughed in forever. I hadn't felt that Christmas morning kind of excitement in a long time. I hadn't felt lit up in I don't even know how long. Everything was fine, but that was the problem. Things weren't bad, but they definitely weren't sparkly. It felt like every day was on autopilot, and I felt guilty for even feeling that way. And then it hit me. I actually coach people through this exact feeling all the time. Again, it's literally my signature program, Becoming Your Fave Self. That's what this is all about. So I thought, what if I just coached myself through it? Like, what if I just did my own damn program? No pressure, no perfection, right? No becoming a whole new person overnight kind of energy. That's draining. I don't think that's healthy. Just step by step, day by day, a little experiment, one tiny shift at a time. And because I had been craving a creative outlet, outside of coaching and posting on Instagram, I decided to write about it, not just, for myself, but for anyone else who might be stuck in that same kind of weird in-between space. So now what I'm doing is every Tuesday, again on Substack, I'm just sharing a new post in the Fave Self Society, just real-time updates. I'm going to be sharing like the tools, the mindset shift, some cozy check-ins, real life, everything that I'm working, just putting it out there so that you can, if you're just nosy, you want to see, what other people in the world are up to, feel free to give it a read. If you want to follow along and implement some of these tools, that's what I'm doing it for as well. And also just to hold myself accountable, because I want to see, I have this quote saved on my Pinterest, universe, show me how good it can get, or show me how good it gets. And that's what I kind of want with this 1-year experiment. I don't even really like using the word experiment, but I can't think of anything right now, a better word. Maybe I've had too many cough drops over the last couple of weeks, but I can't think of really of a better word for experiment. So that's just what we're going with. So again, the beginning of it, and then week 1 is up now. And week 1, I kind of hit the ground running by accident. I didn't plan on starting this experiment with a full-blown home renovation, but my wonderful, incredible, most amazing family and my wonderful contractor all had time suddenly, like everything lined up so everybody could come and help me out in the same, few week span. So for the last couple of weeks, we have been tackling all of these little annoying projects that I had been putting off, like since I bought my old character home, like switch covers, patched walls, clutter, like you name it. And at the end of it, like I'm almost nearing the end of it right now, a few little things left, but we're pretty much done. And I'm feeling really proud, like not done, but really accomplished. And that's what week 1 is really about. Your step 1, I just want to say, doesn't have to be deep or dramatic, even though, like, let's be real, like, yeah, mine kind of turned into that anyway. I don't want you to feel like you have to do something big. So if you're feeling stuck, here's your gentle challenge. Pick something you can finish in an hour, something tangible. Do the dishes, wash your sheets, go for a walk, clean out your purse or your inbox or your car. Something small that gives you a hit of, I did that. That's all you need to start. Mine originally was an everything shower and fresh sheets, right? Crawled into bed that night with a book I love, feeling warm and clean and calm. And that was enough to kickstart a better week. I also spent some time creating a new daily schedule, not one, that I had borrowed and stolen off of Pinterest, or one that made me feel like I had to hustle from like 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. But I made my own daily schedule that felt custom to me. And I did that by asking myself the following questions, and feel free to jot these down to think about a little bit later on, but I will leave them in the show notes for you as well. Number 1, what are my actual goals with this experiment? Like, what are my actual goals with becoming my fave version of myself. Number 2, what makes me feel like me? Like what activities make me feel like the best me, like when I'm feeling at my best, right? And kind of tagging along with that question, number 3 is what makes me happiest? And the first thing I did was I actually blocked time for those things first. Like what makes me happiest, what makes me feel like me, those things went in first. So things like waking up without an alarm, morning pages while having my coffee, tapping or meditating, depending on the day, a daily walk with a dog, working in time to do laundry, or house chores in smaller batches throughout the week instead of all at once and then it sucks up my entire Saturday. Meal times, because I eat at odd times all the time if I'm not really structured. Workouts, I had fallen off, with the busyness of my schedule. I hadn't worked out in a real long time, an embarrassingly long time. And I know I'm probably not the only one with that. Bedtime boundaries, sleeping whenever, falling asleep on the couch in the middle of the day because I was so tired, like that kind of thing. And I also put in an hour of me time each day. So I crafted my own schedule, and I mean, I didn't do it perfectly. Absolutely not. I only followed it for about 3 days because of all the, the reno chaos. But those 3 days, they felt good. So good. I felt grounded. I felt like I was productive. I felt like I had so much fun. Like I actually really enjoyed myself in those moments. And I think that's the whole point. Like this experiment, or I guess this challenge, like we're not about fixing everything at once. It's not a 75 hard kind of challenge. It's not a rebrand. Nah, it's just like a slow, thoughtful return to the version of me where I feel like I am my most favorite version. So that's what I've been up to. Again, week 1 and week 2 are up on the blog now. That is tagged in the show notes. I'll put those questions in the show notes as well. What else was I going to tag in the show notes? The other podcast episode I did on becoming your fave version of you. Because if any of like this episode resonates with you, like if you're feeling stuck or bored, or if you're like doing fine like I am, but you just kind of miss that spark, please come join me. Like this is your invitation. You don't ever need an invitation to come hang out with me, but like come join me, come hang out with me. This isn't it is a program, but this isn't a program. I'm not going to be giving you like worksheets and videos to follow along with. Like it's not like a Facebook group. No, it's nothing like that. It's not a pitch. I'm not going to, it's not that. It's just a space for us to make some shifts just 1 week at a time, right? And learn from one another, share in the comments, that sort of thing. So again, you can subscribe to the Fave Self Society, the Substack blog, or my Monday motivational email through links in the show notes. It's pretty cozy. Like it's just like this podcast. I kind of sit down with my laptop, and I mean, I do make point form notes throughout the week as I'm doing things that I want to share and reflect on with you. But other than that, I just kind of open up my laptop, and what flows, flows. That's how I want this to be. And that's exactly where I feel like I need to start showing up again. Like stop over planning everything, stop over analyzing everything, like just show up and just let things flow, let the soul flow, right? So I'm going to be back next week, both on the blog now and on the mic with week 2 of this little life experiment. And until then, go find one small win, like just one small win to get you started. Again, don't do a house reno. Like that's a little bit nuts. Didn't mean to do that. One small win. That's all you need. And remember, like there are no rules in the Fave Self Society, just vibes and good intentions and showing up anyway. Okay. I love you, and I hope you have the best week.